In a small seaside village lived a fisherman named Peter. Known for his kind heart and modest means, Peter spent his days on the tranquil waters, casting his net and hoping for a good catch. Life was not easy, but he was content with his simple existence. Every evening, he returned home with just enough fish to feed his family. His wife, Mary, always greeted him with a warm smile, and they shared their meager meals with gratitude. One day, after a particularly disappointing morning, with no fish in his net, Peter decided to venture farther out to sea. The sun was high, and the water sparkled invitingly. He rowed until the village was a distant memory, then cast his net once more. To his surprise, it felt heavier than ever before. With great effort, Peter pulled it in and discovered a single, shimmering fish unlike any he had ever seen. It glowed with a golden light, and as he reached out to touch it, the fish spoke. "Please, kind fisherman, spare my life and return me to the sea. In return, I shall grant you 3 wishes," the fish said, its voice melodic and calming. Astonished and unsure if he was dreaming, Peter agreed and carefully released the fish back into the water. As it swam away, it called out, "Remember your promise, and your wishes will come true." Peter rowed back to shore, his mind swirling with thoughts of the magical encounter. When he reached home, he excitedly told Mary about the wish-granting fish. Skeptical at first, Mary saw the earnest look in his eyes and believed him. They pondered what their first wish should be, knowing it had to be something truly worthwhile. That evening, as they sat by the fire, Peter and Mary discussed their options. Their cottage was old and in desperate need of repairs, but they also had other needs. After much deliberation, they decided their first wish would be for a new sturdy home where they could live comfortably and safely. With this decision made, Peter stepped outside and called out to the sea, making their wish. The following morning, Peter and Mary awoke to find their old cottage transformed into a beautiful new house. It was sturdy and spacious, with a thatched roof and large windows that let in plenty of light. They were overjoyed and grateful for the fish's gift. News of their sudden fortune spread quickly through the village, and neighbors came to marvel at their new home. As the days passed, Peter and Mary enjoyed their new home and the comforts it provided. However, the memory of the wish-granting fish lingered in their minds. Mary, in particular, began to wonder what other wishes could bring. She knew they had 2 wishes left and started to dream of a life of luxury. One evening, as they sat in their cozy living room, Mary broached the subject. "Peter," she said, "we still have 2 wishes left. Imagine what else we could ask for. Wealth, fine clothes, anything we desire." Peter, although content with their new home, understood her excitement but felt uneasy. He feared that greed might lead them astray. Mary's words planted a seed of temptation in Peter's heart. He began to consider what they could wish for next. The idea of riches and a life without worry was undeniably appealing. Despite his reservations, he couldn't deny that the prospect of having more was enticing. After much discussion, Peter and Mary decided on their second wish. They would ask for wealth to ensure a secure and comfortable future. Peter once again called out to the sea, making their wish for abundant riches. The next morning, they found their home filled with gold coins, jewels, and treasures beyond their wildest dreams. Their newfound wealth brought joy and excitement. They bought fine clothes, enjoyed lavish meals, and shared their fortune with the villagers, who marveled at their generosity. Life seemed perfect, but as the days passed, Peter began to notice a change in Mary. She became more consumed with their riches, spending less time with him, and more time acquiring new possessions. Peter too felt the weight of their wealth. The once simple, content life they led was now filled with worries about protecting their fortune and maintaining their new lifestyle. The happiness they had initially felt began to fade, replaced by a growing sense of unease. As word of Peter and Mary's wealth spread, the villagers' reactions were mixed. Some admired their generosity and were grateful for the help they received. Others, however, grew envious and resentful, whispering about the sudden change in their fortune. Rumors and gossip spread, and soon the village was divided. Peter noticed the shift in the villagers' attitudes and felt the sting of their jealousy. He missed the camaraderie and simple joys of their old life. The once close-knit community was now filled with suspicion and competition, and Peter longed for the days when he was just a humble fisherman. Mary, on the other hand, seemed oblivious to the growing tension. She continued to enjoy their wealth, throwing lavish parties and surrounding herself with new friends who praised her endlessly. Peter watched with a heavy heart, knowing that their wishes had come at a great cost. As the weeks passed, Peter grew more disillusioned with their new life. He missed the simplicity and contentment they once had. The wealth that had initially brought them joy now felt like a burden, and he regretted their second wish. One evening, as he sat alone by the sea, Peter reflected on the wish-granting fish's words and the true meaning of happiness. In his heart, Peter knew that material wealth and possessions could never bring lasting happiness. He realized that the true joy in life came from love, kindness, and the simple pleasures they once cherished. With a heavy heart, he decided to use their final wish to set things right. When Peter returned home, he found Mary admiring her latest acquisition, a beautiful necklace adorned with sparkling gems. He took her hand and spoke earnestly. "Mary, our wealth has brought us nothing but trouble and sorrow. Let's use our final wish to return to the life we once had, where we were truly happy." Mary looked at Peter, her eyes filled with a mixture of sadness and understanding. She knew he was right, and deep down, she missed their old life too. With a nod of agreement, they stepped outside and walked to the shore. Peter called out to the sea, making their final wish to return to their simple, happy life. The next morning, they awoke to find their home restored to its original, humble state. The treasures and riches were gone, but in their place was a sense of peace and contentment. Peter and Mary embraced, grateful for the lesson they had learned and the chance to start anew. The villagers, seeing the change in Peter and Mary, were surprised but also relieved. The division and envy that had plagued the village began to fade, and the sense of community and camaraderie slowly returned. Peter and Mary, once again, became beloved members of the village, known for their kindness and generosity. Peter returned to his daily routine of fishing, content with the simple life he had reclaimed. Each day, he cast his net into the sea, thankful for whatever catch he brought home. Mary, too, found joy in their modest home, tending to their small garden and sharing their harvest with neighbors. The lessons they had learned from the wish-granting fish stayed with them, reminding them of the true meaning of happiness. They cherished the love they shared and the simple pleasures that filled their days. Peter and Mary never forgot the magical fish that had granted their wishes, but they no longer felt the need for anything more than what they had. One day, as Peter was fishing, he heard a familiar voice calling from the water. Looking down, he saw the wish-granting fish once more, its golden scales glimmering in the sunlight. The fish smiled and spoke. "Peter, you have learned a valuable lesson about the true nature of happiness. As a reward for your wisdom, I grant you one final gift." Peter listened, curious and hopeful. The fish continued, "This gift is not one of wealth or riches, but one of lasting peace and contentment. May your days be filled with love, joy, and the simple pleasures that bring true happiness." With that, the fish disappeared beneath the waves, leaving Peter with a renewed sense of gratitude. Peter returned home and shared the encounter with Mary, who smiled and embraced him. They knew that their greatest treasures were not material, but the love and happiness they shared. From that day forward, they lived their lives with a deep appreciation for the simple, beautiful moments that filled their days. As the years passed, Peter and Mary grew older, their love and happiness enduring. They became known throughout the village as a symbol of true contentment and the importance of appreciating the simple things in life. Their story was told to children and grandchildren, a timeless lesson about the dangers of greed and the value of a humble heart. Peter and Mary spent their remaining years surrounded by the love of their family and friends. Their home was always filled with laughter and joy, a testament to the life they had chosen. And though they never sought out the wish-granting fish again, they knew that its final gift had blessed them with a life of true happiness. The village thrived, its people united by the example set by Peter and Mary, who showed that true happiness comes not from wealth or possessions, but from the love and contentment found in the simple moments of life. And so the legacy of Peter and Mary lived on, a story of wisdom, love, and the enduring power of a humble heart.